about. I see a lot of people trying to set that horse's foot down when they're done. Well, what does that do? That produces uneasiness. That produces like a horse going, what's the matter? Why is that guy holding my foot all the way to the ground? Just turn that foot loose and get out from under there. All right, Dennis here, Capital Training and Shoeing, doing a recap this morning on the dun horse where I was picking up his feet. And before I get started, I'd like to ask you all a favor. I mean, if you all like the content that we're putting out, we've really tried to structure these things to bring you information in a way that you can do your own work, where you won't need anybody else. You won't need to have to, go out for more information. So if you like the content that we're putting out, it really would help us if you just hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. So first thing I wanted to talk about as well is we're getting close to Christmas time, and some of you might not know about other products that we have. So if you go to my website of capitaltrainingandshoeing.com, and I think you might find a lot of things that are really good Christmas ideas. One of them would be this book that we have on trimming a horse's feet, and or you might want it for yourself. It just goes into detail about how I use a mapping system to tell me what to do and how to prepare the foot, and where it ends up being best for the horse to support the internal structures of the horse's leg. That's the thought process I have. In this video, the horse that I'm using is a horse that was very defensive the first time that I worked with him about picking his feet up. During this video, he does not appear to be that way. And I'm telling you, it's because of the things that went on during this video is the reason that he wasn't defensive. Because the first time I reached for his foot, he dropped a foot and was even considering kicking. But you're not going to see any of that in the video that you're watching. But I want you to know that the attitude of the horse that's in this video, it was not pristine. It was shaped by the things that I'm showing you in this video. So don't let the absence of ill behavior from the horse surprise you on how well these techniques work, and they work just as quickly as you're seeing in the video. What are these techniques? The techniques are based around you doing things in a way that the horse decides. The horse makes a decision that what we want them to do is the best thing, and when they make that decision, they need to find that there's complete release. So if you'll notice, when I'm working with the horse, I don't have him tied up to the fence. I think that's one of the best tools that you can do when it comes to working with a horse's feet that you can do is untie them, get them off of that fence, because they'll just use that fence as a tool when they're tied up to work against you. They'll pull back on the lead rope, they'll move their hip back and forth and just make it where you can't get a hold of them. But when you're outside, I use a turn on the forehand, and a turn on the forehand is an especially useful tool in getting a horse comfortable standing still. You're going to see this horse is moving, and it looks like I'm moving the horse, but I'm not. I just simply walk back there by his shoulder. I stepped back by the shoulder, and when I did, he was looking at me, and he started moving his hip around. I wasn't asking for a turn on the forehand. Well, I just used that as a tool, and I directed it. So then I stepped right up into it, and as this horse was going around, I was just waiting and watching. I watch up here on the hip. I'm watching the muscle because I'm facing away from the head, so I'm not looking at the eye side. I've got the lead rope in my hand, but I'm not pulling on that lead rope. I'm just walking back here, and I'm not pulling on that lead rope. If I pull on the lead rope, then I'll mess this up, because the horse needs to be moving that hip around on his own, and then when the horse decides this is more work than I want to do, they will stop, and you'll see those muscles stop on that hip. You'll see that hip come to a sudden stop, and you're right here. When you see that, be ready to stop yourself. When that horse stops, then I don't try to pick his feet up. I just start petting him. Rub my hand down the back. I might even walk away for a little bit, come back, and then when I reapproach, if he moves again, then no big deal. We're just going to go around until he decides to try to get stopped, and then I'm going to reward that. So you can see how I set it up, and that's all. Anytime you're working with a horse is really happening. You set a situation up and let the situation show the horse where it's easy and where it's not. It's not us really making that decision. We make it ahead of time, which is our clear middle picture. And then we set it up so the horse can find that sweet spot, and when the horse steps into that sweet spot, that's their reward, that's their treat, that's the reason that they're going to stand still. Now then, when it comes to touching the legs, you gotta consider what the horse is thinking about, what that horse is going through. If they're not used to having their legs touched, when you reach for them, they're going to move again. So what? Set it up again. Turn on the forehand until he stopped. And get that horse comfortable letting you touch that leg down to the knee, and then below the knee. Don't just reach down there and try to pick the foot up. Because if you just try to steal that foot from him, that's going to put the horse on a high amount of self-defense. At best, they'll just stand on their feet and won't let you have it. You might scare them and cause them to really try to get it. All kind of negative consequences can come from you trying to just pick that foot up. So we're gonna work on getting the horse stopped. Then we're going to desensitize that leg and let that horse let us touch the leg all the way down to the foot. There's several different ways on the front foot that you can do that. I use my hand. Sometimes I might put a lead rope if the horse is really, ill about feeling things around his legs. I'll put that lead rope between his front legs and just let that rope go up and down, not trying to do anything other than just let him feel it. And then I'll get it down there around the pastern, and then I'll pull on that lead rope when the horse is standing on that foot. And what I'm looking for is for the horse to unload, to take that weight off his foot. And as soon as he does, he puts slack in the rope so I don't do any more. And just repeat that until that horse will let me get that foot up in the air. When they start finding out that when they pick their feet up, that's where the release comes. You see, that's key in starting on a good pat. And I do the same thing with the back feet. You might use the rope on the inside, and get the horse leg desensitized. Now, after you've got them desensitized, after you've shown them that picking the feet up is not going to hurt them, that all they've got to do is pick it up and get you to quit, then we've got to comfortably position ourselves how to hold those feet so that we're offering security to the horse when we have his foot picked up. If you have that foot picked up and you're wobbling back and forth and you're pushing into the horse is going to say, I can't do this. I'm going to have to set my foot down. So it's up to you, excuse me, it's up to you to offer yourself in a way that produces stability for the horse. Stability physically, and most importantly, stability in that horse's mind. That horse needs to know he can trust you when you're under there to not hurt him. Because when we have a leg in the air, we can do chiropractic work on them we don't know what we're doing by putting their legs in a bind. And when you bind the horse's knees up, pulling that thing out too far, when you bind him up in the hip or in the hock, by trying to make that leg bend in a way that it never was intended to bend, any horse that's got any sense is going to take his foot away from you. So don't blame the horse. When you get under there and go to prying his leg the wrong way, and he kicks you through the barn, well, that ain't his fault. You'll learn how to come back there and do it a little better next time, because start thinking about it in terms of what's this horse going through, what's he feeling. Horses are seeking center with their feet when it's in the air. I repeat that because you might not think that. Horses are seeking center when they pick the foot up. What does that mean? That means that foot is going to, when you pick it up, the front foot's going to go towards the center of his belly. When you pick a hind foot up, where is it going? It's going to go towards the other leg. They're seeking center. Well, we can't work on them there, so we've got to pull that leg out a little bit. There's got to be a compromise. But I'm going to try to position my body where I can work as close underneath that belly and as low as I can get, you know, to make that horse comfortable. Same thing with the back leg. When I pick that foot up, I'm gonna go towards the other leg, work as low as I can comfortably work myself, and then I'm not going to hold one's foot up in the air very long, you know, because if that horse will relax when I've got it up and I can get under there and do my work, I'm going to get under there and do what I need to do, and then when I'm done, this is important, when I'm done, I just let go of the foot. Well, that makes, you know, a lot of common sense, but I don't know why it is, but I see a lot of people trying to set that horse's foot down when they're done. Well, what does that do? That produces uneasiness. That produces like a horse going, what's the matter? Why is that guy holding my foot all the way to the ground? Just turn that foot loose and get out from under there. The only time you might want to help a horse set his foot down, and this would be a pretty rare case because there's not many of them around anymore. But if a horse is all padded up, you know, gated horses, and they got all that weight hanging there, you might want to help that horse set that foot down so he doesn't bang his other leg or something. But I mean, if the horse bangs his own leg when he's setting his foot down, well, you know, do you really want to ride that rascal? Just let loose of the foot and let it hit the ground. And just, you know, what it boils down to is just use some common sense and start thinking about it on terms from the horse's perspective, and what can you do to make this horse comfortable doing what you want, and everything's going to work out just fine for you. I appreciate all of you being with us. I thank you very much for your time. I hope you're enjoying these videos.